right. So we're just having a chat, okay?
Yes, all
So
right.
just introduce yourself and tell me what you do.
My name is Moses Nderitu. I'm from Kenya, and I'm a medical doctor, uh, mainly doing work, doing clinical practice, public health specialist, and I majorly engage in developing electronic medical record system, which we call Stone HMIS, that serves a number of our facilities in Kenya, like 27 of them, but we are looking forward to pushing it to other areas.
So you've already got all sides of the equation, really. You're a medical doctor. You've had your training and experience. You've worked in data technology, trying to empower lives and democratize technology to help people, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's really a very important part of what I do, and I'll tell you that what made me especially get into technology, having been involved as a doctor, as a researcher, was basically because I thought we needed more accurate information to be able to do research, more accurate information to be able to describe the disease patterns that you're having, and even better information to help us get into clinical reasoning. So without accurate, good information, then you cannot get into clinical reasoning, which obviously underpins machine learning and any other forms of technologies that are going to be useful for artificial intelligence in future.
And once you have, let's say, created the process and the algorithms that work successfully, you can actually adopt. You can actually add all sorts of technical innovations to that model. Correct?
Absolutely. It's like you have a basic infrastructure, an infrastructure that collects data for you, an infrastructure that transmits to the right place, an infrastructure that identifies people uniquely and collates data. So once you have that infrastructure in place, the sky is the limit. In fact, the sky is not the limit. The limit is your imagination.
Okay, and obviously that's blockchain has come into the social and technical consciousness of the world. It's obviously a volatile stage, but it's got enormous potential.
Yes, indeed. The potential of blockchain is the fact that it is going to transform the way information is shared and secured. And we understand that blockchain itself is an infrastructure that underpins the second revolution of internet. So essentially, blockchain allows for what is called distributed ledger technology. And when you think about medical records, we have a concept called the shared medical record or the standard health record. And this is a health record that is supposed to describe a person's experience with the health system for the whole of their lifetime. And it's supposed to be shared across different providers, and patients should actually be in control of how it's shared. So there couldn't be a better time for having such a thought as now when blockchain has come into place.
That's fantastic. Let's talk about BioLife. What is your involvement and understanding of BioLife and what they're trying to do?
My understanding about BioLife is that they want to actually utilize distributed ledger technology, which is equivalent to shared health records when you think about interoperability in health informatics. And they want to go beyond that by being able to digitize these assets so that they can be transferred in terms of value and they can be taken care of easily. So in other words, they want to add value to the shared health record by bringing in the new technology that is secure and that is able to allow people to be in control of their records.
Now, as we mentioned, or as I mentioned, it's been a volatile time. There have been ICOs every other second. This one seems a little different. It's tackling one of the biggest, most fundamental issues, or sets of issues, we have as human beings. Is it going to work? And if it's going to work, what's different about it?
I think I want to be an optimist that it's going to work. And here's the reason why. There is already a lot of standards around healthcare. For example, if you imagine about how health records are supposed to be transmitted, formed, we have something like what we call fast health resources in interoperability, FHIR resources. They define how records are supposed to be shared. But they don't say, they talk about security, but they don't prescribe any particular kind of technology because they know they are mature technologies. So what blockchain in health or what BioLife is coming to do is actually not rediscover the area, but make it better and easier and more secure, and obviously put it in control of the patient. And as you say, democratize availability of health records.
And it's, I mean, we've talked a little bit about timing, not only in the UK, but globally. There's a lot of skepticism, a lot of upheaval, a lot of negative energy around healthcare, around data, around the future. You know, how are we going to look after ourselves and our families and so on. So this may have come at the right time. We're having this event in Scotland. It's a deep-rooted area. It's an ancient area. Is there something significant about having this event with so many global experts like yourself in somewhere with such peace and rooted nature?
Yeah, I think if you look at the atmosphere itself, it gives you two things. It gives you a certain preservation that hasn't changed over the years, but remains as modern as any other place. And what we want to do is build the newer things on top of that. That tells me that actually you can put in, so to speak, you can put in new wine into old wineskins and protect them. So what am I saying? That the fact that there's been a lot of turmoil in the world around, concerns about security, concerns about data, how we take care about ourselves, it is still possible for us to introduce a new technology that will actually help us leapfrog in the way we take care of ourselves. So that has a lot of significance being in such a place like this. Yeah.
So there's talk of obviously a clinic and a research lab in this very place. It's fantastic to think that this corner of the UK can have a global significance in the future of healthcare.
Indeed. Well, the one thing I saw as I was coming around is the amount of peace that is there. And I think when you look at various people and what they believe about health, and I want first of all to quote, for example, the Chinese and the Feng Shui, which is practiced. Having a healthcare setting which is in a place that is serene, that is quiet, that's relatively unpolluted, makes a lot of sense, because that is what is required for people to, go through treatment, recuperate, and eventually recover. And it's also an environment that anybody who wants to do research would feel happy to come and live around. It feels very calm, and if you're doing research, you want to be in a place that is calm. So patients will find the amount of calmness that is required here. Researchers and doctors, the same amount of calm, but also very close to the hub of technologies around the world.
And just lastly, excuse me, what does BioLife look like in 5 years' time?
What I see about BioLife in 5 years' time is that, in fact, the thing that's ringing in my mind is a biot, because it will allow us to be able to convert value in the healthcare assets in the healthcare system into value that can actually have earnings for people, that can actually mean more lives treated, and that can actually contribute to the digital health economy itself. Because we know unless we take care of the economics, then obviously we'll not be able to achieve the very big dreams we have around health.
That's it. Thank you, man. That was very eloquent.
Thank you.
Jeez, to the point.